All right, we are recording. Welcome to our How to Develop Silvers call. Amy and I were chatting about it, and I think that a lot of what everybody needs is verbiage to say, steps to take, how to get their levels 1 through 3, thinking about silver, taking the actions to go silver, and achieving silver, because silver is the very basis of our entire business, the duplication, how you exponentially expand, and it's the key to retention as well. So you guys might want to grab some pen and paper, because we're going to have definitely some actionable items and some concepts we're going to introduce to you guys tonight. So first, as we get it kicked off, I wanted to talk to you guys a little bit about, because I want you guys to kind of get thinking along these lines in your own story and what transpired to get you to this point. So with every single person that either goes silver or goes silver and beyond, there's a trigger point. There's something that happens for you to think, you know what, I'm going to try and start selling. I'm going to share with a couple people. This is what I'm going to do. And so for me, I'm going to keep it really short and sweet, but I sign up for the discount. And so that's what most people do. So what made me say, okay, you know what, I'm actually going to start to share? For me, it was 100% financial based. But when I called up Jamie Mays the day that she had me upgrade from customer to ambassador, I asked her, I said, hey, I'm going to be taking these products for a long time. My auto ship is going to go, or I need to either set up an auto ship to get a discount on the products, or tell me about the ambassador program. I need to figure out which of those two ways, because I was retail, which of those two ways I need to purchase. So she explained that I would get a discount at preferred customer, of course, but then she explained ambassador. And the way she explained ambassador was, when you sign up to be an ambassador, there's no stipulations or anything like that, but you get to have a referral link. So if you want to refer your referral link out for these products, because you obviously fell in love with them, all you have to do is send that referral link to 3 people, and you're going to cover what you just told me you wanted to order. And so I was like, because that was I was money driven. The whole reason I was signing up was so I could get a discount and not have to pay for the products. And I'll tell you guys, secretly in the back of my head, I had always wondered if I could do a network marketing company. I always wondered what would happen. Like, they had always kind of intrigued me, but I never would have admitted that. So that truly, the way she explained it in that initial call, even though I was saying I am money motivated, I am not doing this, not doing this, not doing this, it took me about a whole 24 hours to make my first post on Facebook, because we then talked about it, my husband and I said, I need to get these products paid for. And he's like, why don't you just make a post on Facebook? If you get 3 people, you get 3 people. If you don't, you don't, right? And that was my whole plan, was to make one singular post on Facebook. And I did that, and it triggered me to continue, because it was positive results. And it was my authentic first post. I wish I could go back and find it at this point, because it was probably a hot mess. But it just was all about how I was excited, because this is what had happened to me in my first 30 days in the products. So I was excited to see what else was going to happen. Most people use these products for weight loss. So if you want to try it with me, go for it. So that was my trigger point, was actually during that conversation. So Amy probably has a very different trigger point, because hers was a little bit different.
Yeah, so you guys know when I joined, I was super skeptic and didn't want anything to do with the business. And I came home and told Steve not to tell anyone. So I know when Sarah first brought up, because I did join as an ambassador for the price to get the welcome pack. And I know when she had mentioned, well, you can share and get money back, I was like, that's never going to happen. And then even in my first 2 weeks, I wasn't telling anyone. But I remember Sarah would still mention it when she would check in with me, because I was still feeling really good. And then it was finally at that kind of 2-week kind of check-in when I was having some good wins. And they weren't, I hadn't lost any weight, guys, but not needing a nap and not needing all that coffee, that was huge. And that's when Sarah said, well, if you would share just that, you could get people to join just like you did, and then you could make some money back. And that right then was enough to kind of trigger me to think, okay, maybe I could do that. And I still didn't want to post on Facebook. I was still kind of very, I didn't want to be a network marketer, right? Like I did not want to be that person sharing a network marketing company. I was embarrassed about it. But then she said, you just could get 3 people. And if 3 people order a welcome pack like you did, they save money, you can rank to silver. And so I thought, oh, well, I can definitely get 3 people. So I got my mom. I called my mom. I got my best friend. I don't know if Sarah Cunningham's on this call, but I literally was like, you're doing this. Like I didn't even give her an option. And then I had sent a message to my college roommate just saying, hey, would you want to try this with me? And then once I did that and it kind of gave me the confidence, then I think it was a couple days later, I actually made a Facebook post just about kind of the small wins I had had. I didn't come out and say I was selling it. I didn't come out and say I'm a network marketer and now, I'm sharing Plexus. I just came out and said that I started this pink drink and I haven't needed a nap and I haven't needed caffeine. But that was it in the beginning, because if she had approached me hard and fast about working the business and ranking and sent me all this stuff, I certainly would not have done it.
Same. And so I think it's really important to sit down and kind of think, okay, what made me start to do it? And 9 times out of 10, it is seeds planted by the upline, conversations that the upline has had, but it's on your terms. It was on your decision to start doing it, and you saying, okay, I'm going to try and do this because of XYZ. For some people, it's going to be money reasons. For other people, it's going to be like, dang, like I can't keep these results secret because I know a lot of people that are dealing with it. But she's so right. If she had come at me with like, you could go diamond and, all this kind of stuff, I wasn't there,
No, not at all.
And so I kind of led the conversation with, hey, I need to get a discount on these products. Tell me about this. Yeah. But it was very business driven, that discount conversation.
So let me tell you one thing that also I just remembered that triggered me with silver, and then we'll get in because Sarah and I have like specific points we want to go over with you guys. But so when I joined Plexus, Sarah was the only person I knew, and I didn't know her. I just was, I joined under her as a stranger. Then we became friends on Facebook. She added me to the team page back then. I wasn't friends with anybody else on that team page. But I kept seeing her in the team page, right? And in my notifications, Sarah Taylor commented. And because of that, I would go in and be like, well, what does she keep commenting on? And she was congratulating people. She was posting that people got a silver rank, or they got a bonus, or they got a customer, or she was commenting and answering questions about like die off and, different things like that. And that intrigued me. When I saw how she interacted on the team page, it kind of took down that wall of what I thought network marketing and what this business was. And you could just kind of feel her energy coming off of what she would do on that team page. So that, yeah, and it wasn't even hers yet. You're right. It wasn't Team Taylor. It was the big dream team back then. So that was a big part of it too, kind of taking down those preconceived notions. And then when I would see her comment, then by default, I would see all of these other posts of people working their business and earning things. And so those seeds were planted just by seeing her being active in that page.
Absolutely. And I think that it's important to realize that the team pages become third-party validation, but they only work if you're actually active in that team page. Otherwise, it's like turning you over to strangers and they're like, what is Sarah's role even in this page? Like, why am I here? Yeah. So you're that familiar face that's going to make that third-party validation more just real and authentic and validating. But without you in there, it's not going to work. So Amy, do you want to talk a little bit about, leading with the business and how to have that kind of conversation and just some tools during the prospecting process? And Amy, or sorry, Amanda, we'll get to your question as well.
Yeah. Sorry. Let me pull my notes up here. Well, where are they? This is what I get for prepping ahead of time. They're right here, I promise. Okay, here they are. Yeah, so here's the thing, guys. One thing about silver, that's the only way you're going to be successful in this business. Nobody gets to ruby, senior ruby, and above without having silvers, right? But it's beyond, that's for us working the business. We won't be successful unless we have silvers for us. But for them, it actually is retention on their products, which means they're going to get results. There are company stats. They track silvers, okay? Retention is at 80% for 8 months for when people get silver. Can you imagine when you love it, if you could have a guarantee that your brand new ambassadors would order for at least 8 months? I mean, talk about the wins they would get if they came to you and said, hey, Sarah, I want to order for 8 months straight. Like, I really want to give it a go. That's what happens when people hit silver. And it really, guys, it starts with your conversations and how you talk to them about it. We don't want to downplay it. We don't want to be afraid of it. You don't want to be timid about it. You need to have that right mindset that everyone's going to want to be silver, but also don't assume that silvers are going to be your diamonds, right? Silvers are something that every ambassador should strive for, just because it's 3 friends, it's accountability for them, and it's money back on their order. So we have a few tips tonight. What I want you guys to do, and what I certainly have done when I have new ambassadors, is I kind of reflect on, what am I saying about silver? Am I making it too hard? Am I making it too complicated? Am I overwhelming them? Am I making it a business, or am I making it all about network marketing? So there's so many things we can do when we're talking about it. I highly recommend, guys, though, dropping use of the word wholesale, because you're pigeonholing people right away when you say, oh, to be an ambassador means you can get the wholesale price. That's not what being an ambassador is. That's how we get pigeonholed to then people are never interested in silver. And then they also are just buying 1 bottle of vitamins every 3 months, right? And we're not getting benefited for them. So drop that term, because then it pigeonholes them. And do not be afraid to talk about sharing. And guys, you should be excited about them wanting silver. So when they come back to you and say, oh no, that's not for me. I'm never going to share. Be like, okay, girl, I know you will. Just give it a time. Give it time. I promise you, like, you're going to want to, right? Like, keep it light, keep it fun, but always keep it positive. And that is something you always want to lead with. So a lot of times, guys, we talked about it on the call last week about your energy or your state of mind. Do you really believe that silver is great, that it's easy? And stop asking for permission, right? This is your business. No one is going to hurt you or hate you for saving them money. If Amazon came out today and said, send your link to 3 people and you'll get $275, people would be shotgunning that link out all over the place. The Plexus link is no different, right? Share your referral link, share the product combo you got with a friend, and you can get $275 this month. So just assume it from the beginning and stop asking for that permission, because it really is the heart of our business for us, but it also is super great for them. There's tons of benefits, the money back, and also the accountability. And what you want to do, guys, though, is like, don't vomit it on them, okay? Nobody cares how much they get paid for a welcome pack. Nobody cares how much they get paid, $99 versus $199 when they're looking for silvers. You really just want to ask them to share with one friend and really just become an expert listener when you're talking to that person. Don't worry about sharing the stuff with them. At that point, they don't care. Be a listener, and when you hear things that they're giving you feedback on, like mine was, I didn't need a nap and I didn't need coffee and I was feeling pretty good. And that is when Sarah was like, well, you know what? I bet you have a friend who also maybe doesn't want to take naps and would love to not rely on the coffee pot. So be a good listener, and then always share your testimony when you're talking to people. Do not be afraid to share your silver story. All of you guys on this call, you hit silver somehow. And I bet 99% of you hit silver, and you're someone who said you didn't want to work the business, right? So silver, guys, is key for our business, but it's also key for their product success, because we know we want them to stay on those products. But it starts with you. It starts with your energy. It starts with your belief. And do you really, really believe that silver is the best for them? So be excited, because guys, your energy is contagious. I mean, if someone comes to me and they're so excited about something, I don't even need to know the details, right? I'm like, yeah, whatever it is, sign me up. I'm ready, because you have that influence with them already, which we'll talk about in a little bit, and you're excited. If you have influence and excitement, most people will be like, yeah, I'm in. Like, I don't even need to know the details. Just tell me what to do. And so, Sarah, you're going to talk about some of that, right, on kind of prospecting and how to vision cast.
So one of the biggest things that I've always said to all of my level ones is that the silver process, the desire for silver, those seeds are planted during the prospecting process. So even before this person is signed up, long before that, the way that you handle the prospecting process, the way that you converse with them, the way that you are talking to them, is all opportunities for them to catch the vision of, of going silver and possibly making this a business. Now, what you focus on comes about. So if you are highly, highly, highly focused on solely the discount, so you are having quick conversations about, hey, and an ambassador is the cheapest way to go. Like if you're going through the 3 options and you say retail, preferred, ambassador, and you explain them out, and literally all you say about for ambassador is, or the focus of your ambassador conversation is, it's the cheapest way to buy products. You're backing them into this corner of that's what their viewpoint is of the ambassador program. If you take the emphasis off of just the discount and put the huge emphasis on the fact that they can actually make money so they don't have to pay for their products, that simple switch is really, really, really changing kind of what their view and the way that their brain is thinking about the ambassador program when they're thinking, hey, do I want to do preferred? Hey, do I want to do ambassador? Yes, mentioning the discount, because I mean, how many of us signed up for that discount? But what if that emphasis, like I said, was there on that, but much wider on the fact that they wouldn't have to pay for their products at all with the way that our referral program works? That's a different mindset than walking into this business. And even if they don't say yes right away when they're doing it, or when they're signing up, or in their first week or their second week or their first month, you're planting seeds. You're dripping the business onto them over the course of time. And that basis and that foundational understanding of what the ambassador program is becomes a different definition in their head. And that's truly what we want. And that's what's going to lead to lots of duplication of silvers. So I really want to mention that part, especially the prospecting part. Becoming an expert listener is critical. So if your prospect is doing more talking than you are, that's where you want them to be, because you don't even know what to say. You don't know what is going to make them tick if they're really in a tight spot money-wise. But hey guys, you know what? Even if somebody's in a tight spot money-wise, that doesn't mean they're money-driven. It means they might be temporarily money-driven, but their driver might be, they're very much a helper and they want to help other people or something along those lines, right? So really, really getting them talking, asking them questions, letting them know that you are invested in them, and you're going to kind of paint a picture yourself. Okay, this is what this person is all about, and this is how I need to talk to them about this opportunity. So really just remember that emphasis aspect, because it all starts during the prospecting process. Now, what I want to talk to you about is vision casting. So how many of us really know how to vision cast for the opportunity? And I'm talking beyond silver, like vision casting for this business. So what I did when I was building my business from, silver through gold, just that first probably 3 months of the business, a lot of you guys I know a lot of my level ones, Amanda included, got this phone call and had this phone call with me, because Amy mentioned energy. You guys, my energy was crazy excited. Nobody could have told me I wasn't doing this thing. Once I caught that vision and I went silver in my first week, I was like, oh my gosh, this is fun. First of all, this is not a drag. I'm not embarrassed about this because people are coming to me. I'm excited about it. And when I would call up my friends, the reason I went silver is I physically called up my friends on the phone, but they could hear how excited I was. But that phone call was how I vision cast. And so your tone, your excitement, that's part of vision casting. But the words that came out of my mouth, I was like, oh my gosh. So Janelle Capel, she's not on this call. She's my childhood best friend. And I called her and I was like, oh my gosh, Janelle, I just saw Nikki's paycheck. You're not going to believe what it was. And she's like, what? And I was like, you just have to do this with me. You have to sign up. It was $14,000. She was like, shut up. $14,000? She goes, for what? Like, what is she doing? I was like, she's doing this Plexus thing that I've been talking about. And she was like, that's crazy. There's no way that I could do that. I was like, girl, I know I'm not going to get that far. But what I'm thinking is if she can make $14,000, I could probably pay my mortgage, but really, like, I could at least get about $500. And she was like, you know what, $500 would pay for ASIN's hockey, whatever. You know, she said something about that. She's like, I think I'm in. I need $500. So it was the casting the big vision for the big, huge, you know, check and, you know, and I was even like, Emma, Nikki's not even at the top of the rank. She's emerald right now. And so she still has 2 more ranks to go. I was like, if she can do this, we can do this. And even if we get like a quarter of what she is making, it's going to be life-changing for me. And so, you know, we would just talk and I would do this same conversation because you guys, this is genuinely how I felt. This wasn't like a calculated conversation that I had. I was 1, super excited. 2, I truly believed that I had a financial, like this was going to be a financial change for us. I didn't know how big, but I was super excited about the prospect of that, right? So even the $25 check, y'all, and I was showing people, I didn't have checks to show of my own. I was talking about Nikki's because I had physically seen it, but I was showing them my $25 checks that were Friday checks. I was like, this is what I'm getting. I already have $25. And my products that I bought cost, $100. My sign up fee was $100. So I'm already making my money back. And now the rest is just gravy. And that's literally how I would talk about it. And so every person that was signing up with me was signing up because I was crazy excited about the products and what they had done for me. And I was talking about that all over Facebook. But when we would get on the phone, I was like, girl, I am doing this. I am making this a change for our family. I'm getting us out of debt. And this is going to be how I do it. And I get to stay home. And so that was just like, and I would run through all of those money scenarios. So y'all, but it was my tone. It was my energy. And it was that I authentically was excited as heck about the prospect of this opportunity for myself and for them. The people that I was talking to, I knew them. I knew that Janelle was struggling with ASIN's hockey. He was on travel team. These were my friends, and I was offering a solution for a trigger point in their life that was tough. They were having a tough time with. Some of my friends were not hurting financially, but this still spoke to them. You know, this was still exciting. I remember specifically one of my sorority sisters was like in this high-paying marketing gig, but she's like, girl, if I could double my income, that would be nuts. You know, so it's just, but it was my belief. And I even sat across the table from my sister-in-law who wanted nothing to do with this. She's actually the person that ended up making me go silver. And I said, mark my words, I'm going to the top of this company and you're going to regret not doing this with me. And she talks about it all the time. She's like, I should have took that opportunity with you. And she signed up wholesale, never did anything with it. And she's like, I regret this so much. So it's, some people are not going to go silver and they're not going to do it with you, but most of the people that I was signing in that first month did. And so that was the thing. It just became the norm on our team because my vision that I was casting to them of excitement and the opportunity at all levels, the $25 level, the $500 level, the mortgage level, and the $14,000 level, that's the picture I was painting to them. And so they had a dream, they had hope, and they had excitement. And it was because of me as their pillar of belief that this was happening. So you guys have to be the pillar of belief for the people on your team. You have to be the excitement that's like catching, you walk into a room and somebody's got the flu. Your excitement is contagious like the flu is contagious in that waiting room, right? Like you have to talk about it for it to come about. And so what you focus on in your business is going to be what ends up coming about. So the vision casting for me is as simple as that. And so I want to talk about, so that's the prospecting process that I use, just flat out excitement, and we're doing this together, right? But so then one thing that I just recently learned, and this is something new that I want us to do as a team because I think it's going to dramatically impact our businesses, is the way that we welcome people to our team pages. And many of you guys have heard me talk about this on the coffee talk that we just did and the book study that we just did. But welcoming people to the team pages, like Amy said, we should never call people out as, this is my new wholesale ambassador, Jessica, that just joined the team. What we should say instead is say Jessica is a wholesale ambassador. That's fine, but what is she here for? Is she here to get over her migraines, or is she here to help with some sort of autoimmune disease or weight loss that she has? Post that instead. Say, hey, you guys, I'm so excited to welcome my friend Jessica. She came here because she wants to tackle these darn migraines that she's been getting. And I'm really, really excited to help her through that and to see her success. Something just as simple as that. This is the page that we run, and do the rest. Don't say the wholesale part. Then here's the key that all of us can help. Say I'm the sponsor. So all of you guys can help me with. Number one, you get on there and you edify the person that's posting. You say, oh my gosh, Sarah's such a great health coach. She's such a great pillar of knowledge on these products. And she's also a really great business coach too. So you're in great hands with her. Good luck. Welcome to the team. Instead of just saying welcome. And then other of you guys can hop on there and say, oh my gosh, I got relief from my migraines too. You're going to have so much product success on these products as well. So you can go into the team threads and be like, hey guys, I just welcomed so-and-so to the team and she wants to get migraine relief. If anybody has found relief from their migraines, can you please go welcome her? And it just changes it. Number one, it builds product belief. Number two, it it lifts up the person that just sponsored them. And number three, if you talk about her being the person sponsoring the person being a great business coach, it's another seed planted. And it's such a huge just culture shift away from almost discounting the welcome, like this person's just here for the discount, like that's not, and we've been doing it that way for so long, but I think it shoots us in the foot. So if we can change that team culture and change it from a million just welcome to making it excited and more personal, that's going to be their first entry into our team and what we are all about. And we all know that if somebody has belief that these products are going to help them, they are far more likely to have success in the products because they'll actually take it and work with the products. If they come in thinking, this is not going to work, I'm going to get my money back, blah, 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 and nothing builds their belief right away, they're out the door already. They're probably not even ordering that second month. So those things are absolutely huge. Amy, do you want to talk about kind of the different ways to pull out the different motivations for going silver?
Yes. Yeah, because, guys, it's going to take repetition. Just like most likely your person didn't join Plexus after the first time you mentioned it to them, they're not going to jump on silver just after the first time you mention it either, right? But silvers really are key to our business. So the quicker you can get comfortable talking about it, getting people excited about it, the quicker you're going to rank. In fact, Sarah, when she tells her story, she got all the way to Ruby with dabblers, she says. Those dabblers were silver. Now, maybe a handful are still with her working the business, but guys, most silvers are just happy being silver, and they're never going to go past that, which is fine. But when I hear people say, well, I don't have any business builders, right? My question though is, are you developing them? Because if you're not talking about it, then no one is just going to do it. And we can't assume that when you say, hey, you just have to add 3 people to get silver and you get $100, that they even know what that means. Or if they say, yes, that sounds great, that they even know what to do. So the very first thing though, guys, is what are you saying about silver, and are you making it repetitive? Because maybe they say no when you first bring it up, but then when you're checking in with them again, bring silver up again. And because we don't know what's going to motivate them, you want to present silver in many different ways. Maybe you just talk about adding one friend. Maybe they have a friend that, has migraines like they do, or maybe they have a best friend that they do everything with, and they would love to just do this with them. Then maybe the next time you bring about, well, do you think there's, you would like to help other people feel as good as you do? So the helping people is a different way to approach silver. Of course, the $100 bonus, you can call it a bonus. You can call it cash back on your order. You can call it $100 in free products next month, whatever you want to call it. That's a different way. And then sometimes too, like this month, you could use the free hemp. That could also be a different way to present it, because you never know what someone's trigger is. Because like I didn't necessarily need the money for my next month's order, but then once I saw that I could make $100 and how easy that was, then I caught the vision thinking, okay, maybe I could do that again and make maybe a couple more $100, right? But you've got to just stop being timid with them. Just like when you talk to potentials and you assume the sale, right? We always talk about using positive language. It's the same about going silver. And so they may not understand it. They may not want the business. They may say no to sharing, but think about those reasons outside why somebody would want to get silver, because some of the obvious ones like money may not be for everyone. And if that's the only thing you're bringing up and then you never bring up silver again, that could be why maybe you're not getting some silvers, right? So I want you to think about when you went silver, what did it for you? What did it? What was it? And how were you approached? And was it the first time somebody brought up silver? Was it the second time? But guys, I cannot emphasize enough that onboarding, because your excitement is going to get them the motivation to want silver. They will follow your lead. It's in the language you use. Are you asking them? Or are you telling them? Are you talking about it with excitement or hesitation? Are you talking about it only one time, or are you making it part of your follow-up? And then are you assuming they will tell their inner circle? Like just assume they're going to tell their sister or their mom. Just assume they're going to make a Facebook post, and just use that to drive and fuel your energy. Because we don't want to decide, guys, who is worthy of silver. That's not actually up to us. We don't want to put projections on anybody, especially the people that tell us they don't want anything to do with this business. If you are pigeonholing those people, I mean, if Sarah had pigeonholed me because I told her I wanted nothing to do with this business, she wouldn't have gotten a new jewel. Like it never would have happened if she had pigeonholed me. So it's up to us to continually offer silver to everyone and just, remove those assumptions. The way you get more people thinking of silver and wanting silver is just assuming it's going to happen from the very beginning and that you're really, really excited about it. But think of those different ways. I know like Tamsin's had really good luck talking about like use your referral codes, use your referral link for cash back. I mean, that is all great, and it works, and different people have different motivations, but also guys, just don't be afraid of silver. Sometimes I think we spend so much time thinking, oh, I don't want to call it silver. I don't want to call it a rank, but don't be afraid of it. It is what it is, right? It's your enthusiasm and your language though, that's going to want to get them excited about it. Please though, don't make it a business. Even if you have somebody who is ready to be a diamond, if you have someone come to you and be like, I'm going to the top, don't make silver hard. Don't make silver like a hard business. Don't share all the things. And then really, you're going to have to lay it out to them. And I know Sarah's going to talk through that, because so many times we get to the point where the person's like, okay, yeah, I want to get silver. And they're ready, right? And then what happens? You have no clue what happened, because they go away and they don't post and they never get to silver and they don't do anything with it. But I know from my experience, when I have level ones like that, it's my own fault, because I didn't walk them through and tell them exactly what to do silver. So Sarah's got some kind of steps on how to do that.
Absolutely. So one of the biggest things is building belief in the other person that you're talking to. So what I saw in Amy was, I saw an executive that was looking for a change in her life. I knew she was capable of building a business. She's smart. She's a career woman. She's driven. Like, I already knew she fits the mold of what I'm looking for a brilliant business partner in this. And so I treated her as an equal, but at every single chance that I could get, when I was talking to her, I was like, girl, you can do this. You can do this. You're being silly, and I wouldn't say necessarily silly, but that's kind of what I was giving her. I was like, why wouldn't you? This is nuts. You could just share with your mom and dad, just things like that. I just kind of consistently was like, you can rock this. So you kind of have to build them up and help them understand, see in them that it's going to be easy. But then as a sponsor, it's all about walking them through our processes and being there for them. If you're sensing that they're like, man, okay, so you added me to the team page, you sent me the email, I got on the phone with you and you explained to me the back office and we talked about silver and I said I was going to do it. And then you waited and I didn't do anything. It's because they don't know what the next step is. You need to say to them, okay, how can I help you get silver? What's your plan to get silver? Just asking them that simple question. Once they have said that they're ready to do it, say, what is your plan to get silver? Listen to them. Hear what they're saying about where their comfort level is. If their next thing is, I'm going to send out a mass email to every single person I know, like, well, let's pause. Maybe we shouldn't do it that way, right? And we redirect and we show them best practices. Maybe their next thing is, well, I'm going to call up my friends and talk to each of my girlfriends. Okay, well, let's talk through how that conversation is going to go. What are you going to say? What are you excited about? And kind of just almost role play, but just let them talk to you about what they're going to do. And then that way you can help coach them through where their comfort zone is. The person might not be ready to make a big old Facebook post because there might be some fear. A lot of times what I see is when somebody walks away from me and they are ready to go silver, they tell me that they're ready to go silver, and then they do nothing. There is somebody in Facebook land that is watching their posts that they're nervous to say, hey, I joined a network marketing company. Somebody has gotten in their head, somebody is judging McGee in their network, and it's bringing them fear. And so if you don't uncover that fear and have that conversation, what's holding you back of making, a Facebook post or talking to your friends about this? If you don't ask those questions, you're not going to find out, well, my mother-in-law's, she really doesn't like network marketing, and I'm kind of fearful as to what this is going to do if I make this post. Then you can say, you know what, why don't you just block her from the post? Why don't you make the post but block that one person that's bothering you, or those 5 people that are bothering you that you have a little bit of fear around? I have done that with so many of my level ones, and as they have made those posts, about a month or 2 in, and Amy was one of those people, about a month or 2 in, they were like, you know what? I don't care. I am fine with them seeing this post. And so like Amy, I talked to her about blocking her coworkers because that was a fear of hers. She didn't want her work to know that she had joined a scam. She didn't want them
to story.
Yeah. And so I was like, why don't you just block your coworkers? Do you have all your coworkers on Facebook? She's like, no, I have like 5 or 6. I was like, block them. You don't need to be posting to them. That's not your target audience for this right now. Down the road, that's fine. But let's block them in the meantime. And it removes that fear. So there are so many different ways as a sponsor that you can kind of help shape their next steps in a way that's comfortable to them. And maybe, just maybe, so Melissa Bonesteel was one where she was terrified to ever make a post on Facebook. And she had a whole list. It was all her family. of people she was scared of. And she's like, Sarah, I am flat out not posting to social media, and I never will. So I was like, well, how can we work around this? I was like, who are you willing to talk to? Let's think 5 people who you're willing to talk to. And so she named those 5 people. I go, who are those 2? And she goes, my neighbors. I go, have them over for wine. She built her business having one-on-one wine dates with her friends to talk Plexus. That is how she built it. And eventually, obviously, she talked about it on social media. These are all different ways that you guys can get over any kind of objection. And Amy's going to talk more about objections, but these are solutions that you as an upline can provide for just common things that, you know, people might have some fear about, common reasons. So I always, just as like a rule of thumb, I love getting people on the phone, because that's the best way you're going to uncover any of this. And especially when they say that they're ready to go silver, pick up that phone, hop them on Zoom, do something to where it's a lot of interaction. It's not just going back and forth over Messenger. This is a social relationship type of business. So providing that service to them and being a true partner to them by taking it off of Messenger is a really big deal, right? So talk about it, getting on the phone, talking to them about just a simple shout out post, getting them in 3-way chats, getting them to have a plan, like I said, for talking to the first 3 to 5 people, like just walking through those things and almost doing a role play with them about what they're going to say is so huge, and building them up. But then here's the big deal. So once they say, hey, I'm going to go do it, you say, all right, you message me or you call me when you have done that. Like when you've gone and made your post, when you've gone and talked to that person, when you have had that person over for wine, whatever it looks like for them, the plan that you guys create for going silver, they need to come to you when they have done it, so that the accountability ball is in their court and you don't assume the blame for them not having success going to silver. They need to be the one that reaches back out to you. If they don't, and a week goes by or something like that, then you reach out and say, hey girl, did you ever end up doing XYZ? And that's kind of how that goes. But it needs to be in their court to make this go quicker and to make it feel like their journey towards silver. I know Christine had asked in the comments, I don't know if you answered, it kind of went quick there, but using assuming words and assuming the sale is just positive verbiage. You're going to see this when. You're going to feel this when. When you sign up, you know, this is going to happen. And you're using that assumptive verbiage to make them take those next steps, or to help them start to envision themselves taking those next steps and kind of clearly lining it out. Right. So yeah, not bringing up the negative words or anything like that. Amy, sorry, do you want to add on to that?
Yeah, I was just going to say, it's kind of like almost the self-fulfilling prophecy. If you keep telling them that they're going to love Plexus when they order, then they're going to order, as opposed to, well, let me know if you're interested, right? Like if someone comes to me and says, well, and they're passionate about their product, but then they're kind of hesitant for me to order, and I'm like, well, you know, let me know. I'm going to be like, oh, well, she ain't that excited about it. I'm not going to hurry up and order. Same kind of thing with silver.
Yeah, it kind of creates a sense of urgency, a plan, a next step. Like, oh, you're going to order, so, and you're going to love it when you order. So, you know, they're like, oh yeah, okay, I guess I got to go order, you know? Right. Amy, did you want to cover any of the objections as we wrap this up?
Yes, I do. So I know, just like when we're presenting Plexus to people, when we talk about silver, there's going to be objections, and there are some common objections. And I just wanted to go over those really quickly. The first thing I want to say though, and this goes for potentials and silvers, when you get an objection, don't be afraid of it. Be so confident, right, in the business and in what you're offering and in our products that you don't shy away from the objection. Because if somebody says, you know, let's say you bring up, hey, if you add 3 friends, you can go silver. And they're like, yeah, but I don't want to work this business. You're like, okay, I get it. That's fine. That, guys, is not confronting that objection. Anything someone brings back to, we can overcome it. But you have to know what to say and be ready. And sometimes I tell people to kind of step out of business mode and just have a conversation with this person like they're their friend, right? Because if somebody says, let's say you bring up silver, and some of the common objections are, but I don't want to work the business, or I don't have time, or I don't want to sell, I want to try the products first. That's a big one. I don't know anyone. I don't want to tell anyone on Facebook. Guys, we can overcome all of those. We just have to meet that person where they're at and understand and kind of have a conversation and really listen to what they mean by those objections, okay? So if someone says, I don't want to work the business, say, oh goodness, girl, silver isn't working the business at all. It's really just helping you get your money back and using your ambassador referral link to get your cash back on your next order. You don't even have to post on Facebook to get silver and to get this bonus. You just have to call up 3 friends or text them or text your mom and share the products that you're on, just like I shared with you. And then that's it, right? So have kind of that back and forth. If they tell you they don't have time, ask them, say, well, how much time do you think it's going to take? It's totally okay to flesh out what they mean by that objection, because it could mean they see you on Facebook 27 times a day talking about Plexus. They see you maybe on your phone. They are assuming that for them to get silver, they're also going to have to do that, right? So don't be afraid to ask them, well, how much time do you think it's going to take? And then assure them that, especially for silver, that you will help them. You will, draft their first post if they want to post. You will do the message that they could send to the people. You will help them order. You will really support them, because it's not any time at all to get to silver to start sharing. Another one, of course, I think when they say, I don't want to sell, that's similar to I don't want to work the business, that it usually means, if you ask them and you flesh that out, it usually means they think it's slimy and they don't want to be that person, right? So you could even ask them, say, well, goodness, I don't feel like we sell anything. I just share what these products could help people with, and I let that person decide. Did you feel like I was being salesy when I reached out to you, right? So don't be afraid to have these conversations, and don't stop when they come back with that objection. Because just like when we're talking to potentials and we're overcoming, we can still overcome them with our silvers. Sometimes people say, well, I don't know anyone. And you could say, well, I didn't have a lot of friends on Facebook either. So to help me get silver, I just called my best friend and my mom. And that right there was 2 people. And then, I was able to think of a 3rd person I could share with. So just kind of have them talk that through. If their objection is, I don't want to post on Facebook, that one is super easy, guys. You don't have to post on Facebook to be silver, right? They can just, if they're comfortable enough with it, they can call their 3 friends themselves. You could host a little Zoom. You could get on the phone. You could send them a text message to send. You could kind of help prompt that if they don't want to post on Facebook. But kind of the big one, when somebody has one of the bigger objections, and you guys have probably heard it, it's that I want to try the products first, right? How many times have we heard that? I have heard that a lot. I probably even thought that in the beginning. And when people say that, what they really mean is they don't want to recommend something that they aren't sure is going to work, right? So I like to flip that around a couple of different ways. One, you cannot have a success story for everyone. In other words, I've never had a migraine. Does that mean I shouldn't share that Plexus can help people with migraines, right? So that's one way you can overcome an objection, is say, like, look, I get it. I know you want to wait and see if these products work for you and what your goal is. But while you're reaching your goal, you could help other people feel great along the way, especially with weight loss. I'll tell people, like, hey, look, I thought that too. But if someone had waited 8 or 9 months to lose weight before they shared Plexus with me, I wouldn't have gotten feeling great so soon with my thyroid, right? So stop kind of waiting for your own results and share how the products might be able to help your friend. People don't care if they have results. What they care about is that you're trying something, and they'll want to try it with you, right? So that is one way to overcome that kind of objection. And then, of course, you can keep going further with that one. I always like to tell people they can borrow my belief, right? They can borrow mine. They can, look at all of our research and all of that if they're really feeling uneasy about sharing a product. Let them look at some of the research. Let them look at gut health. Um, and sometimes I have the conversation that I think it's selfish to keep it to yourself, right? If you have a friend whose child can't poop and we have something that could potentially help that child, I just feel like it's our duty to share that. And if they're uncomfortable with it, then, maybe they'll let you share that with their friend, right? So that's one of those big kind of objections that it's really good just to talk about the objection and talk about like, what results do you think you have to have before people will be curious and want to do this kind of new health journey with you. So those are some of the big objections. Did you have any to add, Sarah?
So I was just going to say that a lot of times objections can just be bad timing for that person. And, they bring up the objection because they're unsure. I mean, how many of us had objections and were unsure about this? And so handling the objection doesn't mean that they're going to immediately turn around and be like, yes, you're right. I'm going to go silver right now. So give yourself some grace on that. But what it does is it's another seed planted. It's another thought about it. Her saying, well, what if you could help somebody, somebody's child poop? You might not be having that issue, but our products help with that. And so your sharing this might unlock somebody else's prison, might unlock, something that's happening in their life that you have no idea about. And that'll just sit with them for a little bit. And they might just still say, hey, you know what, Sarah, I'm not ready. And you say, no problem. I am here when you are ready. Mm-hmm. And that's the biggest key, because you also don't want to push people away at all. You just want to continue that positive energy, that excitement. And that's why when Amy told me no the first couple times, I just kept, when she would come to me and be like, now I have more energy, now I don't have to drink as much coffee, like every little win that she had, I would just come back and say, you know what, you should tell people about that, because I know a lot of other people feel that way.
Yeah.
And every single time she's like, no. And then she finally did. And because it planted that seed in the back of her head, like, what if I did share this? Mm-hmm. And then they key in more to what's going on the team page. They kind of watch, observe. You post lots of testimonies yourself. That builds their belief as to what other things that this could do. You get them in the testimony page. All of those things are the third-party validations that you might not even realize that they're seeing, but you planted all those seeds that they're like, okay, I'm thinking about this. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
So that tipping point.
Yeah. So it's really meeting that person where they are, but knowing you have all of these tools we talked about in your tool belt, and also realizing that you never know what will motivate someone. So it's like you got to offer them the buffet and offer it often, because we don't know, what is going to trigger that person to finally be like, yes, okay, I can go to silver. And I just want to reiterate again, how important your influence is with that person. And some people are like, well, how do I build influence, especially if it's maybe a level 1 that I don't know really well? Because enthusiasm and influence will get people interested in silver more than you having the perfect language, the perfect script, the perfect system, the perfect way to overcome their objection. Because if you can have all of that, but if you are not present with them and have that influence and are the example of how great and fun silver is, the majority of people aren't going to run with it. Very, very few people are self-starters. I think even less are in network marketing. So if you're thinking you have people that are like, yeah, I want to be silver, the majority are not going to run with it. So really look at building your influence. And again, sometimes I feel like a broken record. Just this is how important I think it is. Your engagement on the team page shows them the culture of support and community, and that builds your influence with them. They see you as someone who has influence. So then when you come back with silver, they're going to look at you even more so thinking, okay, yeah, all right, I can do it. She believes in me. She knows what she's talking about. So really look and see and make sure you're putting in your daily method or your daily schedule time to be on that team page, because that is going to build your influence. We talk about influence with your potentials and your network, but influence with your current ambassadors is how you're going to get business builders.
And I'll just close with this, guys. The way that you support your ambassadors and your customers is one of the biggest things that will help them go silver. If you don't ever follow up and check in and see how their products are going, I guarantee you they're not going to change into a selling ambassador. But if you have great customer service and you care about them and you care about their results and you take an interest in them, they're going to be far more likely to jump in. So just always remember that part. Like, don't forget to take care of and check in on your wholesalers and all of your ambassadors. So, well, and with that, this ran long, but hopefully it was super helpful for you guys. And let us know. I'm going to post a recording. Let us know if you have any questions. All right, we'll see you guys. Bye. Happy Monday.